Josh, what the fuck is this place? Shit.
Oh, hey man, you're up.
What the hell? What the hell?
Jeez, yeah.
Ah.
So,
Where the fuck are we?
Dylan brought us here.
Why?
I don't know.
How long have you been here?
About 20 minutes.
Why?
I have no idea.
Why am I mic'd up?
I don't know.
This is fucking bizarre, man.
Yeah, I know. He's been honest for weeks about... I don't know. What was he on to us about?
It's been harassing us for days.
Yeah, but what for?
I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Josh Saunders.
We are PopCulturists, and thanks to Dylan, we've been thrown into this
Dank.
shithole of a room.
Dank is the right word. I know the meaning of dank has changed lately.
Yeah.
But this room is just dank.
This is a room, like this grand, like I'm trying to sit, like he's like, here's these stools to sit on, sit in front of this wall, review this game already.
Okay,
I'm
we will.
I'm like, alright. And then he puts me on a ground that's clearly been dead
Something
body
is
buried.
buried under there.
Like, we almost hold hands. Like, it's so soft and squishy. Like, this has been recently dug up.
Yep.
Like, there is a body in here.
Did Dylan put it there?
I don't know.
Or did the Baker family put it there? Segway!
Speaking of Baker family, look, we're here to talk about Resident Evil VII Biohazard. It's finally come out. This has been long, not even long in the waiting. Because I think...
No, not really.
First we sort of heard about it was E3, where they were like, hey, that kitchen demo, Resident Evil 7. I blew my mind. Yeah. Like, when the second that happened, I'm like, get the fuck out. Mm-hmm. Like, see, I don't really have... Resident Evil isn't really my franchise. Like, growing up, there was two big key staple horror games. It was Resident Evil, it was Silent Hill. Mm-hmm. Silent Hill was my jam.
Okay.
Fucking love Silent Hill.
Alone in the Dark never did it for you?
Oh, Alone in the Dark, A New Nightmare on PS2? Yeah. Wow!
We're not here to talk about them.
But... So when PT was coming out with sort of a Konami, I'm like, give me more, give me, and they're like, hey, it's cancelled. I'm like, and then Resident Evil's like, hold my beer. Resident Evil 7.
Wait, Konami, you're out? We got this.
Yeah, like Capcom comes in and is like, dude, check this shit out.
Yeah.
And I saw that trailer, and then I finally played them, and I'm like, this is the game that I wanted. Yep. It's the game I needed.
Yeah. So let's talk about it.
Yeah, so you play as the character of Ethan after getting a lovely video message from your estranged girlfriend, or just strange girlfriend, really. After 3 years of being missing, she sent you a lovely video message saying, "Hey, I wasn't babysitting.
I'm alive.
I'm alive. Don't come find me. Here's my location."
So being the white knight that you are.
Being the hero that you are, you get in your car and you drive to this horrible looking plantation mansion in the middle of Louisiana swamps. Yep. And then the game begins. Now, once this game begins, you sort of wander in, you see what the beginnings of this family. This family are the Bakers. So
we've seen glimpses of them through the other the kitchen demo.
Yeah, so with the kitchen demo, you see that weird sort of spooky girl. Yep. And then on the beginning hour demo, you first see Daddy Baker. Mm-hmm. I don't remember. is it Jack? I'm just going to call him Daddy because it's fun.
Okay.
So I'm going to call him... So Daddy Baker, you see him like when he punches you as you try to leave. And then you're at the dining table and you see Daddy Baker, Marguerite, which is his wife, I assume. And I think's their son, which is Lucas.
Yep.
Lucas?
Yep.
And then Granny...
And Grandma Baker.
And Granny Baker, who does nothing but just scare the shit out of you at pointless times. That's
Well, by doing nothing.
She just sits there. So you're walking down the hallway and there's an old lady just being sort of dead.
In the wheelchair.
And it's like...
Come around the corner, ah!
Yeah. And later on you walk in and you're like, don't do fuck Granny! And you can't shoot her, you
You can't do anything. You can't even
with her.
pretend to knife her.
But who you can shoot and stab and fight are the other Bakers. Let's talk about that. What do you think... Obviously, the patriarch of this family being Daddy Baker. What did you think of him in particular?
He's easily one of the most intimidating villains out of a game I've played in ages. The 2 decades I've been gaming, he's up there with the... I don't want to be around you. I don't want to see you. I don't want to hear from you. Just leave me alone.
No,
of course he doesn't.
Like, you're just scaring.
Yeah, you're just a scary looking dude. Your demeanour, even the way you walk, it's just... He's a scary man. And he can take a lot of punishment too.
Yeah, so... Obviously, like, you confront him a couple of times, a couple of different boss battles. Now, when you're in that boss battle, because one of the strengths to this game, and it's a strength to Resident Evil franchise as a whole, is when you do have boss... What?
There's a huge daddy long...
Jesus, fuck!
It's down there! So doing that doesn't do anything to the Baker family. Hitting him with a thong doesn't help.
So in true Resident Evil fashion, the boss fights are sort of in these really enclosed, claustrophobic spaces and
loud.
So with Daddy Baker being as intense as he is, he gets right up in your shit, and you can't get out of it.
No,
and especially in VR, like it is just holy crap.
Yeah, they invade your personal space. I mean, they hurt you really fucking bad as well, but they're always right up in your face.
And that's the benefit of playing this in, having this game set in first person. When they do get up in your shit, like they get up in your shit. It's crazy. Yeah, so then there's Marguerite. So you don't really get to see her until much later in the game. So I'm not going to obviously get into too much details of her for spoiler reasons, but she's fucking nuts.
Yeah. So the bar kind of keeps getting raised. Like Papa Baker is horrifying, as we said, but then you get to Marguerite and she's terrifying in a completely different way. Like, Papa Baker is scary because he's physically intimidating, whereas Marguerite's more like up here. Like, she'll mentally mess you up.
Because because she's sort of the key character in the Lantern demo for anyone that's ever seen it. Yeah. So it is sort of that, what with extra. So like you have to hide in this house, and she's like frantic. Where Papa Baker is like, he's slow and menacing.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh shit, he spots you. He's like, hey man,
yeah,
like
the typical horror like slow
like
walk
slow
kind of
like
thing.
with a big like weapon.
Yeah.
Where Margaret's like, and then just fucking bangs it at you.
Yeah.
It's like, so in that, like, there's very different bosses. Now, of course, there's obviously Lucas and but they're further on, so we don't want to get too much into those either. But
the Bakers, having the Bakers jump at you for the entire game would get old pretty quick. So it is supplemented with other enemies as well, called the Molded, who are essentially enemies made from some kind of black tar sludge that seems to be all around the basement area and stuff. Yeah,
which then sort of expands throughout the house. So it's sort of this is where the game sort of gets into its supernatural. This is where it goes into what we assume Resident Evil should be.
Yep. And it kind of took away from the game for me.
A little bit for me as well. So it's kind of interesting because, like, having played those 2 demos, having a look at all the trailers, I'm like, this game is a suspense horror game. This is why I love it, because this is sort of what... Like, Silent Hill had a lot of crazy monsters and stuff, but you spent a lot of the game just being fucking tense.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I thought this game would be mostly just the tense. Yeah.
So just the Molded kind of fill that gap in between doing stuff with the Bakers. You get a couple of other enemies to take out. And yeah, like we said, they're well designed, they look cool, they are menacing, but...
Like, if you walk around the corner and you see it, horrifying.
But they are there for you to take them out. And you have the means to take them out, so they're not as scary, because, you know, they're scary, but I can get rid of you.
Yeah, once you work out how to take them out, it's pretty...
Whereas the Bakers, you can't. Until they become a boss
battle. Yeah, until the boss battle, they just take bullets.
You have to run, you have to hide, and all that kind of stuff, and that's the scary part. So yeah, the cool designs, they look awesome, but the whole supernatural shift kind of did pull me back out and make me realise it's not the game I was playing an hour ago.
Yeah, so as I talked about in the first impressions as well, to me it was very much like the movie The Conjuring. So you spend 2 hours just being tense, crazy, and you're like, everything, like, is this all in this character's head? You're just feeling, like, on the edge of your seat shit. And that's what Resident Evil, like, the first, like, until you see them molded, I'm like, dude, this is nuts.
Because, and like, no spoil, but the Bakers, they're tough. Like, they're not one and done people, okay? You encounter them a couple of times, but the molded, so that makes you scared of them, because even if they're coming at you, it's like, well, no matter what I do, you're going to come back and get me anyway, and that's scary.
Like, I fought you before, and you are still alive somehow, and it's horrifying.
I fucked you up before, and you're still coming at me, and that's scary. Yeah, the molded, they're dead, they're over.
Yeah.
That's all I've really got to say about it.
But, so as you mentioned, so when you're not fighting the Baker, you're fighting the molded, and which then, in between that time, you're sort of wandering this house. Huge house, sort of doing little
puzzles.
Like puzzles. So this is where it gets a bit more...
A bit of search and explore.
Yeah, where it gets into sort of real Resident Evil sort of roots, where it has you looking for, backtracking. Like, you've got a key now. Yep. This key opens this type of door. Like, I've seen like 4 kinds of that door.
Yeah. Or, you got the key for this, and you're like, oh, that was all the way back there, like near the start of the game. I'm going to go back over there.
Yeah, so it makes you go back, but once again, because of the confrontation with the Bakers, you're like, I took you out in this part of the house, but I'm not sure whether I will find you again.
I took you out, and I'm back where I took you out, and your body's not there. And it's just like, oh no.
This is not like a loading thing. It's not
no, it's not like enemies
because other things, remember, like if you opened a cupboard and you went to the other end of the house and came back, that cupboard's still open. Yeah, so like everything has, like, any change hits you even harder. Yeah. And that's what, like, this game has that atmosphere of just creepy and just, it's about as dank and creepy as this room. And a bit more.
Speaking of the atmosphere, when you've got the VR headset on, I remember when I first put it on at Ryan's house and played maybe the first 45 minutes to an hour, I stood outside at the bottom of the house, outside, and I looked up. And, like, the sense of scale, I was like, that is a big fucking house. Like, it felt like I was looking at a 3-story house, which it is. It's a multi-storied house, but it had that sense of scale. It's like I was outside on the street looking up at a house.
Because I'd played for a couple of hours before you tried it in VR, so I knew roughly how big the house is in terms of its map style. I'm like, okay, cool. So it's approximately this big, cool, all right. And then I didn't get that sense. I'm like, it's a house. And then I put the heads on, same as you. I'm like, this house is huge. Yeah. Like, because it gives it that real world sort of construction, I guess.
Yeah, put it perspective. Yeah.
But it's we're talking about how this game looks. Like, I was playing this on my PS4 Pro, you were playing on a standard PS4. How did it look for you?
It looked great, but didn't run as smooth.
Okay.
When there was a lot happening, there are certain instances I can think of, I don't want to say because there'll be spoilers, but there were certain times when a lot was happening and it was noticeably kind of like, come on, okay. Like let's just get through this 5-second scene to bring the frame rate back up. You know?
Okay.
And graphically, just not as sharp. Especially the intro of the game, the first cutscene as you're driving to this house is from a beautiful shot on the stretch of the highway.
Like that opening cutscene, like it's phenomenal.
Yeah, there's water and there's lush greenland there as well. And on your TV, I was like, wow. Even Dylan was on the couch. He said, "Is this like a real shot?" And no, and it looked incredibly crisp. Just not quite as crisp on a regular PS4.
See, for me, I had a greater time. Like it ran at a solid 60 frames per second. It was running at I think it was an up-res 2160, so it was as 4K as it possibly could be. And you can notice that, whether it just be the sort of the sharpness of the image in general. Everything has that bit of a sort of like a rusty sort of look to it. Like when you do the mold, everything's a little bit wet.
Yeah, a little like the gleam.
Yeah.
Although I did notice when I played it at Ryan's house, the very first clip from Mia, who was like, "Here I am, but don't come for me." The lip sync was a bit off. It wasn't for me. It's perfect.
Oh, really?
Absolutely perfect lip syncing. So I don't know. I don't know how that happens.
Yeah, not quite sure.
Interesting little tidbit.
But maybe because the sharpness of my picture sort of added that extra bit of uncanny valley to it.
Maybe. But yeah, so throughout the whole game, I was thinking all the way up to right towards the end. I was like, "This is awesome, but how the fuck does this fit into the Resident Evil universe?" And I'm pleased to say that at the end of the game, no spoilers, but at the end of the game, it really does kind of go, and here's how. And it's like, whoa! Oh!
Because, like, I'm sitting here thinking it's Resident Evil 7. I'm like, yeah, but are they really just rebooting it? Because it
seemed like a
it
reboot.
makes sense for them just to reboot it, right? But no. There's a 7 here for a reason.
Yeah. Otherwise, I would have just called it Resident Evil Biohazard.
Yes, even throughout, there's a bunch of little sort of nods and tip of the hats of Resident Evil 7.
Tip of the hats, and it's like, oh, yeah, that's nice. Yeah, this is Resident Evil. But yeah, towards the end of the game, it's like, bam! And it's, crisp ending. Good ending. I really enjoyed it.
Speaking of ending, we should probably wrap this up. I guess Dylan will let us out of here, hopefully. So quick final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Okay. Looks great. Plays great. It's ambient. It's intense. The atmosphere is incredible. Gets a little bit less scary as different enemies come into it other than the Bakers. But then the Bakers come back and go, no, fuck you. Shit your pants again. Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Already have.
Yeah, already have. It's done. It's an awesome game. Yeah. Anyone it's essentially a survival horror game because you are scrounging for resources, you are crafting, but you're a little bit more capable than you are in, say, Amnesia and stuff like that. It's the perfect way for Resident Evil to come back on next gen and be like, we're still here, we are still fucking good at what we do, and even though some of the past Resident Evil games are really campy and kind of lame, like cheesy, if you know what I mean, especially in the dialogue, this is like, no. We're legit. We're back, and they did an awesome job.
Look, I'm in the same boat. I did have expectations going into this game, simply because it was the game that I wanted. I'm like, I need that good sort of suspense horror, and I got that. Like not even playing in VR, playing that first 2 hours or so just by myself on the couch. Like I had to have a light on. Like originally it was just a lamp. I'm like.
Well, what did I say last night when you messaged me? Like, hey man, have you played anymore? I'm like, yeah, I was. And then my dog barked down the hallway, which was all the lights were out. Because when I play these games, I really get myself into it. Turn all the lights out, turn the volume up a little bit, turn the brightness down a bit. Really get into it. And the dog just, this is like 11:30 at night, just barked down the hallway. I went, okay, that's enough for now. That's good. Yeah.
I'm going to sleep here. Fuck my bed.
Because how much was I talking up? I'm going to play this in one sitting. I'm going to get all the way through it. Yeah, but it's easy to say during the day when the sun's up, but when it's night time and it's quiet and the dog starts getting a bit meh for things, okay, that's enough.
But yeah, look, so it was the game that I wanted for the most part. Now, like as we mentioned, when the molded do come in, it does sort of take the punch away from the suspense, but it never turned me off.
Yep.
That's the big difference. Like you can have things that sort of slow your mood or change how you think, but as long as it doesn't turn you off from the game, you're fine.
Yep.
Like the game constantly had me moving forward. I never really felt like a downturn. So every time it was like there was constantly little things keep you moving forward. Whether it be
the pacing was excellent.
Yeah, whether it's like you find this key and that you can go, oh, I can go over here, or it's like you've just fought the boss and the little phone rings. And, there's all these little things that keep you moving forward.
We get the map and there's another room that you didn't notice.
Yeah, so you're constantly doing and moving things. You never kind of feel you feel helpless, but not in the way of I don't know what I'm doing.
You know what you're doing the whole game.
This game looks incredible on the PS4 Pro. As I said, it runs at pretty much a 4K. At 4K, could be upscaled. HDR is magical in this game. Magical, something that you probably didn't experience with your TV.
I get HDR, but I don't have a 4K TV.
Yeah, so the HDR is amazing. It adds that extra layer of spooky to it because you can get those horrible shadows that sort of fuck you up around corners.
Oh man, the amount of times my own shadow made me jump.
I know, right?
Because as you walk around the light, of course your shadow warps around you from behind you to in front of you, and so many times, Jesus, that's me.
When you're in the area of the house from the beginning demo, and you walk down those stairs, there's a couple of boxes placed just so perfectly that they look like legs.
Yep.
So as you walk down the stairs, every time.
It's awesome. Yeah.
Dude, this
Out of 5?
This game is great. Only because of those slight sort of the change of not pace, but the change of the enemies. But the atmosphere was so strong. This is easily like a good 4.5 out of 5.
Yeah, I agree. 4.5. Other than when like we said, the molded came in, I was like, oh yeah, okay. Other than that, perfect. Nailed it in every way.
Loved it. Absolutely loved it. So big thank you to our friends at Capcom Australia, as well as QVS and Turn Left Distribution for giving us a copy of this game. We are eternally grateful. It was one of the It's probably on my highlight of the year so far. It's only January.
Yeah, no, so far, definitely.
But it'll stick with me for the rest of the year.
But, if we didn't get a copy of the game, we probably wouldn't be in the situation we're in now.
Yeah, because Dylan pressured us to keep doing this. So speaking of Dylan...
Has he gone home? Let me check out this one.
Is he gone?
He's fucking gone! Dylan!
We have to find our own way out?
Alright,
hang on.
I'm Josh Saunders.
I'm Ryan Betson.
Bye.
Watch out.
Okay. Fuck.